Rene Descartes' Proofs for God's Existence. Rene Descartes' proofs for God's existence came after he had proven that it is his ability to doubt that proved his very own existence. The argument that culminated in his most famous dictum, cogito ergo sum, is what some scholars would call the first certitude in his philosophy. The second certitude is the proof for God's existence, or that He exists, despite our doubting of everything else in our immediate world. Descartes' argument promptly starts off where the first certitude ends. He proves his existence using the idea of perfection. Descartes' proof for God's existence is found in his seminal work, Meditations on First Philosophy, particularly in the third and fifth meditations. As we can see, one of the central points in the third meditation is Descartes' attempt to prove the existence of God. Here, Descartes argues that the idea of God is necessarily true because it is grasped with clarity and distinctness. As we can see, Descartes' ontological proofs for God's existence is based on the notion of clear and distinct ideas. On the one hand, an idea is clear for Descartes if one cannot help taking notice of it, such as toothache. On the other hand, an idea is distinct if it cannot be confused with anything else. For example, the idea of a table cannot be confused with the idea of a chair. Now, in proving that the idea of God is clear and distinct, Descartes introduces his theory of ideas. According to Descartes, there are three types of ideas, namely, innate, adventitious, and fictitious. According to Descartes, innate ideas are ideas within us that do not come from experience. Take, for example, the mathematical proposition 2 times 2 is equal to 4, or the statement all triangles have 3 angles. As we can see, we do not resort to experience in order to prove the point that twice 2 is always 4, or the fact that there is not at least one triangle that does not have 3 angles. Through mental processes alone, we can logically conclude that indeed twice 2 is always 4, or all triangles have 3 angles. It is important to note that for Descartes, innate ideas are not present in us the moment we are born. Hence, babies and mentally defective adults do not have innate ideas. This is because, for Descartes, innate ideas are proper only to or can only be possessed by a rationally developed mind. What is there the moment we are born is the possibility for our mind to become rationally developed, which in turn enables us to possess innate ideas. Adventitious ideas are ideas that are based on our experience with the world and the things around it. For example, we may say sugar is sweet. Of course, as Descartes would have us believe, we can only be sure that the statement sugar is sweet is true if we have experienced it. That is, if we have personally tasted it. Fictitious ideas are those ideas that are the product of our imagination. Consider, for example, the idea of a unicorn. Of course, there is no unicorn in reality, but we can come up with this idea by combining the idea of a horse and a horn. So if we imagine a horse with a single, large, pointed spiraling horn projecting from its forehead, then we have arrived at the idea of a unicorn. Now, what is the point of Descartes in introducing these three types of ideas in relation to his concept of God as innate? Well, according to Descartes, our idea of God is innate and is placed in us by God. And because innate ideas are self-evident, clear, and distinct, then our idea of God is also self-evident, clear, and distinct. Therefore, God necessarily exists. Descartes' ontological proof for God's existence goes like this. If something exists, then it must be caused by something else. The only possible ultimate cause is an infinite, perfect being. But because God is the only infinite and perfect being, therefore God exists. It must be noted that God is considered in the fifth meditation. One of the central points in the fifth meditation is Descartes' attempt to know whether material things exist independently of the mind. However, Descartes postponed the discussion on whether material things exist in reality outside of the mind until the sixth meditation, and instead discussed what he thought as the third proof of God's existence. Meditation 5, therefore, is devoted to the discussion of the discovery of the third proof of God's existence. Now, Descartes argues that clear and distinct ideas have a nature or essence of themselves. And for Descartes, this necessarily implies existence. Since our idea of God is clear and distinct, Descartes concludes that indeed God exists. Descartes illustrates this argument this way. God, by definition, is a being of infinite perfection. Existence is a perfection, for everything that exists is perfect, otherwise it cannot exist. Therefore, God exists.